I'll do a quick review on my two Fletching jigs here. We've got the Bohning, and I started off with this and it does a fair job. You've sort of just got to be careful that to make sure that you clamp it in place and everything's set up the way you want it, you know, and it's not too far out in one end, and maybe the end of the feather is actually not sticking to the arrow because you haven't calibrated this correctly or something. I have found that with this, and I put a little mark on it where I want the feather to go, but I have found that if you use the fletch tape, you can actually, say you've got an arrow that's you've stripped one feather off, you can actually adjust this, and with the fletch tape you can place it down and then pull it off quickly and then check if it's close, and then maybe pull it off again and then jiggle it around, or jiggle the arrow. You don't move this, but you jiggle the arrow, so when you place this down the second or third time, it's actually in the correct position, so you can actually refletch an arrow that's had, or it's missing one feather or one vein, so you don't have to actually strip all three feathers off, which I've had to do 2 or 3 times because I've shot really tight groups from 10 or 20 meters, and you just strip down one feather, so it's very handy in that regard. And then I bought the Bohning feather tower. I thought it would be perfect every time, and in the end it's been quite good. It's just plastic mostly. They could have made it out of better quality materials, but it does the job. You sort of got to or like I did, marked out where I want the feather to slide down to, and then you put the feathers in, put the glue on, put the arrow on, shove this down. But I've found that what really took me a while to get the grip of was perhaps I didn't read the instructions properly and didn't really understand the instructions. When you put this on, you've got to be really quick, and you've got to pull this lever here, which actually pulls the bottom outwards, and then you jam that down. And at first I wasn't doing that, and I probably fletched 10 arrows and only got about one correct, or one in the way that I wanted it. I was fletching, I thought it was the jig, I was fletching smaller diameter arrows and was having a lot of problems, but it was just that. You've got to put the arrow in, jam this on here, pull this lever tight, and then jam it right down, and that seems to line everything up. And until you get that right, you can have a lot of problems. And it does come with different size holders, so you can use this for like the typical gold tip 2.246 inside diameter arrows, and then you've got this, which is good for the Widowmaker smash, and I'm guessing would be similar for the Victory VAP arrows, and similar small diameter arrows such as that. You probably could bolt this down, but I'm not sure how you do that. I mean, obviously you'd bolt it there, but I'm not sure why you would, in that you would have a lot of trouble gluing this arrow here. So unless you've got a revolving table, it really needs to be turned, and that's probably something that they could have looked at. Maybe bolted the base down and then maybe made the top so you can turn it or something. And you've got to make sure that the lever, when you've got it all into position, you've got to make sure, for me I'm right-handed, so the lever's got to be here. So if you finish up, if you put the arrow in and the feathers in and the lever's over on the other side, I quickly turn it around so I can jam it down, pull it into place, and then jam that down, and it's alright. But